Ghosts and ghouls, demons and aliens, monsters and worse, only here on Ghost or What, the best channel for original scary stories. Our next story is Abduction by Persons with Long Statures. When I heard about what happened to Arnold, I felt devastated. He was found dead on his university premises. The cause of the death was not identified, but I believe that it had to do something with the incident that happened on the hiking trip. Although we stopped meeting each other, I knew there must be something with him. I was so sure because those shadows never left me since then. Wherever I went, I saw those shadows. I could not understand what they wanted from me, but they never left. It had been 3 years since the incident, but it felt like yesterday. I completed my business education and am currently working in a well-renowned company. I was working in a multinational firm, so traveling was also a part of my work. I used to work till late hours because I did not want to go home. The huge dark circles under my eyes had become a part of my appearance. I was unable to sleep because whenever I lay on the bed, I would hear people whispering and would see shadows inside my room. I never saw anything outside of my house. It felt like those things reside in my house. But when I heard about Arnold, I felt like my fate would not be so different from his. One day, I was working in my office, deeply indulging in my work, when suddenly I received a call from the receptionist that someone had called for me. I wondered who that would be, as I have cut my ties with everyone. She connected me with the caller. As soon as I greeted them, a strange buzzing sound started. I kept on asking for the identity, but the buzzing got even louder. I quickly put the receiver back and wondered what that was. After thinking for some time, I shrugged the thought out of my brain and continued with my work. Later that day, I was told by my boss that I had to go on a trip to another city. It was a 3-day trip, so I went back to my home and quickly packed my bag and went straight to the airport. As I was waiting in the lounge, waiting for boarding, when I suddenly felt like choking. I could understand the reason. I loosened my tie and it did not work. I decided to walk and I started to take deep breaths, but nothing was working. All of a sudden, I felt like loud whispers were surrounding me. My heart started to race as I saw myself being surrounded by many tall shadows, and then I felt everything around me go dark. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in a very strange place. I looked around me. It was a very tall room. I had never seen such a heightened room, and it was quite wide as well. I stood up and tried to walk towards the door, but as I went, the further away the door seemed from me. I stopped and looked at the door again. I wondered if I was dreaming. Suddenly, the door swung open, and I saw people coming inside the room. Just like the room, those people were also quite huge. As they came nearer, I stepped back a little. I could not decide what kind of species those were. They were so tall that I was unable to see their faces as well. All of a sudden, I started to hear loud buzzing. I remember the same noise from the phone call, but those were 100 times louder than those. At the same moment, I felt burning. It felt like my whole body was on fire, and I felt dizzy, like something was moving out of my body, and at that instant, I fainted. I felt like flying in the air. I saw myself among the clouds. I was wondering if I was dead. I looked around, and then my sight fell on Arnold and Alexa. They were standing at the far end. I waved at them, but they did not see me. They were looking quite healthy and joyful. I wondered if I would be freed from those if I died as well. Suddenly, everything went dark and cold. I looked at Arnold. His head was attached by just a nerve and was lying loosely from his body, and Alexa's face was wiped off. Suddenly, I saw the same people approaching me, and then I woke up. My whole body was trembling and my heart was racing. I tried to stand up, but I fell. I wondered what kind of dream that was, or if it was some kind of warning. I wondered how much time had gone, as there was no sign of sunlight. Several strange thoughts were coming to me. Sometimes I wondered if those were aliens. My stomach was rumbling with H8 but there was nothing to eat. I wanted to shout for help, but as I tried to say something, no sound came out. I tried again, but nothing. I tried to stand up, but everything started to spin. Then at the corner, I saw them again. Arnold and Alexa smiled at me. I rubbed my eyes to check if I was hallucinating. All of a sudden, I heard a loud bang like a cannon. I sat straight as if someone was raiding. Then I saw them again, those huge men, making banging sounds as they walked. I tried to look up at their faces, but could not see anything. I started crying. I wanted to ask them what they wanted, but could not say anything. As they came nearer, the buzzing started again, and this time, I felt like someone was forcing me to move. I tried to stop myself and then started to hit my head on the wall. I kept trying to stop myself, but it felt like someone else was moving my head. I kept hitting the wall. I wanted to stop. My whole head was bleeding, but I kept doing it. I wished for my death, but nothing happened. Finally, it stopped. I felt like my head would explode because of all the pain. But it did not stop. I started to move again. I felt like someone was moving me like a puppet. I tried to stop myself, but I kept going, and then I saw a hacksaw lie on the floor. I sat down and picked up the hacksaw. Without any delay, I started to cut my leg with it. I felt a huge surge of pain traveling through my body. I could neither shout nor stop. Tears were falling down my cheeks, but I did not stop. I was only done till half when I finally lost it. When I opened my eyes again, I felt disappointed. I wanted to die, yet I was alive to face the pain all over again. Several blood clots had formed on my forehead, but my leg was still bleeding. I knew that my time was nearer. I could feel it. I knew I could not feel the pain any longer. Those people had gone. I looked around and found the hacksaw, and I picked it up and started to move it on my neck. It was a sharp hacksaw. One move, and then everything went black forever. Did you think that was the end? The terror never ends. Subscribe to our channel to hear more horror stories, only on Ghost or What.